Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Weller and today I want to talk about how to homebrew the Dragon of Icespire Peak. This is a Dungeon Master guide, so if you are a player, this is the wrong video for you. But if you're a Dungeon Master, stick around. Here is a list of my personal homebrew changes that I made as a Dungeon Master to the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Some of my players suggested being knights errant in the adventure, which hasn't actually been developed yet, but I will explain why that hasn't happened. No giants in the campaign was heavily requested by my players after playing through Storm King's Thunder, that adventure. There's a lot of giants in there, hence they didn't really want to have more giants. The players discussed being pirates or at least fighting pirates on the high seas. I expanded the Tower of Storms to include a shipwreck treasure hunt and a giant crab called Wally with a sailor's hat to compensate for the fact that Dragon of Icespire Peak is not on the ocean. The starting locations suggested by my players were either a coastal town or an inland town, so I used both. I had Phandelver and I also used Salt Marsh positioned on the Sword Coast. The players requested a chance to gain a sea vessel or a flying ship, which hasn't happened yet, but I can assure you they have enough cash to do it. There was a strong desire from my players to play in a Spelljammer campaign or many worlds or planar travel, have that included, which I have actually saved for higher character levels. World travel has actually already been incorporated twice into the campaign, and I have had them visit the gods in Celestia to do a favour for Tempest after the paladin died, and they've also travelled to Midgard to try and stop a Gnoll demon lord. A home base was requested by my players, so they have actually rebuilt Tresendor Manor and secured the Icespire hold for future renovations. The players suggested that their characters had won the land deed of Tresendor Manor in a game of chance or a gambling game, which I agreed to. Many different major villains or boss monsters were wanted by my players, so I have included Xanathar the Beholder, Halaster Blackcloak, an undead Aboleth, a colossal Gnoll demon lord, and I've also put in there a Inferno Golem. Some of them have not been discovered yet. There are some undiscovered villains that will show up later on. There was talk about all or some of the player characters being bounty hunters, but that was dropped during the first session, even though it makes sense with the bounty board in the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Instead, they have selected or chosen to be constables or deputies in Phandelver. There was an overwhelming player decision to have no patron to work for, and to be self-determined during the campaign, which they have been. Bucket loads of downtime has been presented and they have used it to find their own way. More freedom to move throughout the world was a high priority for most of my players, which is why I have added in more adventures and let them pursue all of the side quests if they wanted to in the Dragon of Icespire Peak, and that's what they've done. The players wanted to be able to expand the town of Phandelver with their earnings, which hasn't happened yet, but they have been provided with plenty of money to do so. All the players wanted magic shops, so I have placed consumable magic items or a magic item shop in the town of Salt Marsh in the Caldec Tower. I believe that's where the wizard lives. The Goblin Droop was carried over from the Lost Mine of Phandelver to Tresendor Manor and has become their party butler, or I would actually say more of a real estate manager in the game. So that's how I've adapted the game for them. Even Sildar Hallwinter from the Lost Mine of Phandelver was a person who was used or reused from the Lost Mine of Phandelver for Dragon of Icespire Peak. He is the first individual or NPC that recruits them to be the law in Phandelver. This is just a sample of some of the things that I have done in my game. Now, if you want to see more information and more detail, there is a live stream that you can go and check out that I cover far more and go into a lot more detail about all of this if you're interested. If you like my videos and you want to see more, I have hundreds of videos for players and dungeon masters you're welcome to go and check out. If you want to support the channel so I keep doing video content like this, you can through Patreon, the Amazon affiliate links down in the description, or the merchandise shelf underneath all of my videos, or just watch my videos, that's fine too. Do all the normal YouTube things, you know what I'm talking about. Share, like, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when I go live, and I go live a lot, and when I publish new videos. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.